The second part of the question is, can we withdraw attention in other wakeful states or only in human wakeful state? Only in human wakeful state. Simple reason, only human wakeful state has the free will to seek and do this. Others are all programmed to live as they are. No bird can do it, no tree can do it, no cat can do it, no horse can do it, no angel can do it. Why not angels? They already know the future. How can we know it? We don't know the future. Supposing we were able to know the future, what's going to happen tomorrow? Will we still have free will? Not at all. If we know that the decisions we're making with free will are already pre-programmed somewhere, and we don't know what they are pre-programming, we have free will. But we go exactly according to the script on which it is recorded. Because we can't see the rest of the script, it's called free will. Free will as an experience. It's not real. If it was real, there would be a big problem. And one of my friends, again in the university, he came up with this. He said, he called me one day, probably the same friend who said I can stop thinking. He said, I have studied hard what is free will, and I found out we have no free will. And he said, I have found out because of my theosophy class, theological model that I have. In that classes, they teach us about God. And they define God very clearly. God is omnipresent, everywhere. God is omnipotent, has all power. And finally, God is omniscient. He knows everything. Okay, we take the third part. God knows everything. We are going to decide something with a free will. Does God know it or not? If God knows, it's not free. Then we are only doing what God already knows. It can't be free will. And if he doesn't know, he's not God, by definition. This was the very argument by which he came to the conclusion, we have no free will. God has full will, full knowledge of everything, including what we'll decide, even with our own choice. Therefore, we have no free will. I again invited him, come to my apartment, please, let's discuss free will. And he came and I played a little trick on him. I took a tray and put a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and an empty cup. When he came, I said, would you like to have tea or coffee or nothing? I've got all three here. He said, well, I'll see. I said, no. You have no free will. You can't decide like that because you say you have no free will. Just tell me without your free will. He said, how can I do that? I have to make a choice. I said, we have to make a choice with free will every moment of our life. You say you have no free will, I'm demonstrating to you, even a small action requires free will. Free will is inevitable. If you say, I have free will or no free will, you're saying it with your free will. You're demonstrating your free will right there. How did you say you have no free will? I'm demonstrating. You destroyed all my knowledge of the morning with just a cup of tea and coffee. I said, no, I can take the other side now. I have proven to you that free will is inevitable. Now I'll tell you that you have no free will. And I'll prove it scientifically, not on belief systems. I'll prove you purely scientifically that you have no free will. He said, do so. I said, when you make a choice, tea or coffee, how do you make a choice? After all, something happens in your head. Should I take this or that or take coffee? What makes you say I'll take coffee? What are the factors inside your head, in your brain, that decide to take coffee or tea? Let's examine them. Some can be genetic, hereditary factors. Your father loved coffee, your grandfather loved coffee, the genes are carrying the taste for coffee, and you have predilection towards coffee, you said, I'll take coffee. That's one set. Second set of factors is, you've grown amongst people who like coffee. You acquired the taste for coffee by living with them. Environmental factors. When I ask you now, Do you want tea or coffee? Neither can you change your genetics, nor can you change the environment you have been through. Therefore, in truth, if you were aware what your background is, you would know that you had to choose coffee. The very factors that are making you give free will are predetermined by these two factors. There's no third factor that comes in. Scientifically, when we make choices, we are making choices based on this thing. There are only two kinds of pressures that make us decide what we want. You have no real free will. It's just the absence of knowledge of how the choice is being made. It's the absence of knowledge of our own self. It's the absence of knowledge of what will be happening tomorrow. Absence of knowledge what's going to happen 5 minutes later. That's making us experience free will, not have free will. Experience free will. But the experience of free will, no matter how real or unreal it is the most important thing on the spiritual path. Experience of free will gives you the experience of seeking. Seeking is part of that. And that is why this ignorance is truly bliss, that we don't know the future. We feel we'll make the future. We'll decide what the future is. Very good. You also seek. Say, I'm seeking. There's something happening inside. That is why this whole experience is generated in the human form. This experience of free will only exists in human form. And that is why you have to be a human being, wakeful human being, not even sleeping human being, wakeful human being to experience seeking, free will, and going inside and finding the truth.